All right, so trivia night is coming up,
Oh, I know, right?
and you need to be a Dynasty expert,
Yeah.
like yesterday.
You got it.
And don't worry, we've got you covered.
Okay.
We dug through mountains of Dynasty Intel interviews, behind-the-scenes secrets,
Wow.
you name it, to bring you those winning facts no one else will have.
I love it.
Think of this as your Dynasty cheat sheet, with just enough shoulder pads and scandalous gossip to make you feel like you were actually there in the 80s.
Oh my God, take me back.
Right.
What's so fascinating is how Dynasty itself was a power move even before the first Carrington stepped on screen.
Really.
ABC was hungry for a piece of that Dallas pie, big oil, even bigger drama.
They weren't messing around, that's for sure.
Well, they weren't.
But get this, the original title was Oil.
What?
Can you imagine?
Oh.
Talk about a snooze fest before the opening credits even rolled.
Yeah.
Thankfully, someone had the good sense to spice things up with Dynasty.
Dynasty. Much better, much better.
Yeah.
It just oozes intrigue, right?
Hmm.
But here's the thing. Season 1, not exactly the ratings juggernaut they'd hoped for.
Really?
It needed that extra something. Enter Joan Collins as Alexis Carrington, the ultimate wild card.
Oh, Game Changer doesn't even begin to describe it. I mean,
Right.
yeah, Alexis brought the drama.
Yeah.
But it was smart drama. She was playing chess while everyone else was stuck in checkers.
She was?
Esther Shapiro, the show's co-creator,
Right.
even said Alexis changed the tenor of everything.
She really did.
Wow.
And the writing gets really savvy here, They took those classic soap opera tropes, love triangles, betrayals, you name it, and cranked them up to 11.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it wasn't just about rich people problems.
Right.
It was about how those problems exploded in the most glamorous ways possible.
Right.
The audience ate it up.
They did.
It was great.
Speaking of knowing what they were doing,
Okay.
can we talk about the ground dynasty broke?
Mm-hmm.
This was the 80s.
Yeah.
Not exactly known for being progressive.
No.
Yet, here's a show putting middle-aged women front and center, tackling things like homosexuality and racial integration.
It's true.
It was bold.
Incredibly so. They didn't shy away from the complexities either.
Right.
These women, they weren't just reacting to the men in their lives.
Yeah.
They had ambitions, desires, flaws. They were people. Which, let's be honest, was pretty rare to see on TV back then, especially when it came to women in their 40s and 50s.
It's so true, and I think that's why it still resonates to this day.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, it wasn't all serious social commentary.
Yeah.
This was Dynasty. We're talking outrageous catfights, shocking twists.
And let's not forget about the fashion.
Oh, the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I bet even Joan Collins herself was jealous of Alexis Carrington's wardrobe sometimes.
Right. Nolan Miller,
Had the best job.
the costume designer, he once said he used 3,000 costumes over the course of the show. And get this, he made sure no outfit was ever repeated.
Oh my God.
Talk about commitment to the Dynasty aesthetic. It's no wonder those looks still inspire designers today.
They really do. Their shoulder pads, I mean,
Oh, I know.
you could practically land a small plane on one of those things. And speaking of dramatic entrances, let's talk about that Carrington mansion.
Okay.
That wasn't just some Hollywood backlot.
Right.
They filmed the exterior shots at the Filoli Estate in California.
Wow, really?
Talk about living the dream.
That's amazing. The real estate agent in me just swooned a little.
I bet.
But imagine the drama that house witnessed,
Oh, I know.
both on and off screen.
Totally.
The Lily Pond brawl between Alexis and Crystal,
Stop.
pure television gold.
Don't forget about the mud fight at the beauty salon.
Oh, yeah.
You'd think someone would learn their lesson after that first dip in the water.
Right.
Those were fighting words. Literally.
They really knew how to keep us on the edge of our seats. And speaking of cliffhangers, enter the Moldavian Massacre.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Season 5 finale. A royal wedding, terrorists storming the palace, a hail of bullets.
It was like so dramatic.
I mean, you can't get more soap opera than that.
I'm surprised anyone survived.
I know.
It's no wonder viewers were glued to their screens for the season 6 premiere.
Right.
They had to know who made it out alive. Talk about a water cooler moment.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone was buzzing about it. And of course, Alexis,
Of course.
ever the queen of drama,
Right.
was nowhere to be found in that season opener.
Oh, yeah.
Contract negotiations, darling.
Oh, well, Lexi.
It just added another layer of intrigue to the whole thing.
Of course it did.
Right.
They broke the mold with that cliffhanger.
They did.
But all empires crumble eventually,
That's true.
even those built on oil and shoulder pads.
That's so true.
What led to Dynasty's decline? It's like they always say, all good things. Especially those with shoulder pads big enough to rival a small car. Must come to an end.
Right.
So what happened? Did audiences finally get their fill of catfights and champagne problems?
Well, the ratings definitely took a dip.
Yeah.
Part of it was just, the changing TV landscape, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Shows like Magnum, PI were all the rage, offering a different flavor of action and intrigue,
Yeah, a little something different.
Yeah.
Plus, let's be real.
Okay.
How many times can you watch the Carringtons narrowly escape disaster
Right.
before it starts to feel, well, a little predictable?
Exactly. And they even tried to recapture the magic with that spin-off, The Colbys. Ambitious, sure, but it just couldn't compete with the original.
Nothing could compete with the original.
Yeah. Right.
It was tough.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, and even bringing back Fallon and Jeff to Dynasty couldn't save the day, really.
Oh.
It finally ended in 1989.
It did.
And get this, on a cliffhanger.
Oh, stop.
Blake getting shot. Talk about going out with a bang.
Oh my gosh, they really did love a cliffhanger, didn't they?
They really did.
Wow.
They did try to tie up those loose ends with a Dynasty.
Yeah.
The reunion miniseries in 1991.
Oh, right?
But let's be honest.
Okay.
Sometimes it's better to leave well enough alone.
I agree. Yeah.
Let it live in its glory.
But even though it's been off the air for decades, Dynasty's influence lives on
Oh,
the fashion alone.
Oh, my God.
I swear, every time I see a power suit or a bold shoulder, I get a little Alexis flashback. Totally. And let's not forget Linda Evans as the face of Crystal Light. I mean,
iconic.
They understood the power of branding, that's for sure.
They did.
But even beyond the product endorsements and those, iconic looks, I think Dynasty tapped into something really interesting about the 80s.
Okay.
This, fascination with wealth, power, ambition.
It's so true.
It's like they were holding a mirror up to society's desires and anxieties, all wrapped up in, of course, sequins and shoulder pads.
Of course. So as you gear up for your trivia night, listeners, remember this Dynasty wasn't just a show.
No.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
It really was.
It was about the rise and fall of an empire, sure, but it was also about love, betrayal, family, and the price of power.
And maybe, just maybe, it made us question our own relationship with those things a little bit.
Right.
Who among us hasn't secretly wished for a little bit of that Carrington lifestyle, even if it's just for a day?
Oh, 100%. Even if I could just raid, the closet for an afternoon.
Right. Just like a little taste.
Just a taste. That's all we need.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, I think we've given our listeners enough Dynasty ammo to dominate that trivia night.
I think so, too.
Just remember to thank us when you're accepting that first place prize.
That's right. You heard it here first.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.